So the problem with air purifiers these days is that there are just too many to choose from, and compared to smartphones, the cheaper you go, the higher chance that you are compromising your health in a huge way. Now this is the Blue Air Health Protect 770i, the Rolls-Royce of air purifiers, and guess what? They have been lab tested to remove airborne coronavirus. Yup, the cause of COVID-19. So here are reasons why you should get it and how my experience was after using this after a month. So the first reason would be the design. Now, aside from being the absolute correct color, which is white of course, and some very nice black trims, it has a modern, sleek and minimalist design, and this makes the air purifier blends in perfectly whether or not you're putting it in your living room, your study or your bedroom. And speaking of which, the design kind of reminds me of the PS5, hence I've decided to place it just next to my wall-mounted PS5. And no, this should not be an excuse for you to get the PS5, yeah? No. Now, since this purifier does its purification within a huge coverage, more on the range later, you're looking at a pretty big purifier that measures at 855 by 340 by 340 mm and weighs at 19.2 kgs. Now the sides are not just for aesthetic purposes, as those are the spiral air outlets that are engineered to deliver 360-degree omnidirection airflow to quickly circulate clean air to every corner of the room. So technically, this Blue Air Health Protect 770i is also a 360 fan as well. But if you think that it is too big and heavy to move around, well, the good news is that there are wheels at the bottom that lets you to move the air purifier easily anywhere around your home, and the power cord can also be adjusted to the perfect length with a convenient cable management down there as well, and that, my friends, is very smart. Then on top of the unit is the premium air quality LCD display that updates the air quality in your space, whether it's the size of the particles, VOC levels, temperature or humidity, and they also track the filter usage to let you know the amount of percentage is left, all in real time, which I'll go into my use case of this later on in this video. Then the second reason would be the HEPA Silent Ultra Filtration, which is not just a fancy name, as it is Blue Air's most advanced filtration technology, where it combines electrostatic and mechanical filtration to remove 99.99% of airborne particles, going down to 0.03 microns, which are things that you cannot see with the naked eye, which are viruses and bacteria. And it also has filtration, obviously, which removes dust, pollen, dander, mold, VOC and odors as well. Now, speaking of range, this 770i can completely filter the air in a huge 653 square feet room every 12.5 minutes and 4.8 air changes per hour, and that, my friends, is a huge coverage in its class. And while it delivers 50% more clean air, it only uses 55% less energy and has 10% lower noise than a traditional true HEPA filtration. And to put that in a real-time situation, this air purifier uses less electricity than a small light bulb. Then when your unit is on standby, the GermShield technology proactively monitors your room, killing germs and prevents the growth of bacteria on the filters. Then there's also Blue Air's most advanced filter to date, the Smart Filter, which consists of one particle layer and one active carbon filter layer to remove gas, odor, smoke, exhaust, smog and chemicals from the air. Then there's also the pre-filters on the sides to trap large particles before it enters the air purifier, and this helps to extend the life of the main filter. So for example, things like dust, or in my case, my cat Luna's fur, will be automatically caught in the pre-filter before it goes into the main filter. Then going into the main filter, which can be accessed through the right side of the purifier via a magnetic door-like mechanism. And I love how it had a nice pull tab on the filter to ensure that your hands don't get dirty, and it folds like a booklet to keep your dust and pollutants from escaping. So yes, goodbye, dust clouds. And since this is one of the smartest air purifiers out there, there's also a smart RFID chip that notifies you via the LED screen or through the Blue Air app when it is time to replace the filter. And why this is smart is because this ensures that you don't change the filter too late or even too soon, as it uses an algorithm to calculate the filter life based on the fan speed and the particle sensor, instead of tracking it based on just the number of months, for more accurate data and when to change the filter as well, and more on the app later. Now, from talking about air pollutants, the third and most crucial reason would be the filtration of viruses. And just so you know that Blue Air is the leading air purifier brand to test against live SARS-CoV-2 virus, and results from a Biosafety Lab MRI Global show that the Health Protect 7400 series effectively remove 99.99% of live airborne SARS-CoV-2 virus in a Biosafety Lab test chambers, which was truly amazing indeed. And since the COVID-19 virus has not been totally eliminated globally yet, this air purifier would be totally important to have it in everyone's home. So the fourth reason would be the smart and the app's capabilities, because while some other purifiers have their own app, nothing comes close to how extensive this Blue Air app is. Now, in a glance in the app's home screen is where you can view the quality of the air, whether if it's good, it will state that the air is clean under the indoor tab, which also mentions the Health Protect devices that you have. Above that, under the outdoor tab is where you can view the location of the air purifier. So in case someone tries to steal your air purifier, you can find it. Imagine someone actually does that, but more on the geofencing or geolocation a little later. And when you click on a device is where you can view all the info on the purifier based on time, so you'll know exactly when you did have a bad or excellent quality of air, where the air quality is broken down to different PM values on top, including TVOC pollutant levels, temperature and humidity too. Then there are other smart remote controls like controlling the fan speed, turning it on or off, changing between auto and night mode, adjusting the LED brightness in case you're putting this in your bedroom so you can sleep better at night, and there's also the filter status over there as well. Then you can add schedules and head to the product settings, which can include renaming the device triggers for the auto and the night mode and the child lock as well. Then there's the very uniquely introduced Welcome Home feature, which is a convenient feature for energy saving that uses a geofencing technology as mentioned earlier. For example, it will turn on for 15 minutes before you return home to get the best air quality by the time you are home. And this would be great for those of you who do not turn on the air purifier for 24 hours like how I do. And speaking of smart, it also supports Alexa and Google Assistant, so you can use your voice to communicate with your air purifier as well. Alright, so now that we have gone through the main reasons on why you should get it, here's my experience after using this about a month plus. Now, firstly, even though there are 3 adjustments for the fan speed, I left it at speed 2, which was perfect for my everyday use in my approximate size of 500 square feet living room area. And speaking of everyday use, I opted to use the air purifier to be turned on for 24 hours ever since I set up and switched the air purifier on. And that means that I did not have to set any sort of schedule. And as mentioned earlier, I intentionally did not clean the pre-filters for you to see how much of fur was caught in there, since I have a cat which shades like a husky. Yep, life with Luna. And after using the air purifier for a month, the filter status were about 79%. So depending on my environment, I can expect to change the filter maybe about 6 to 7 months. So we'll see about that. Then the temperature and the humidity levels were very accurate, and even compared to my Aqara temperature and humidity sensor, since this 770i has a large laser sensor for precise measurement. Then the TVOC levels were measured correctly through the light indicator of red, orange, yellow, green and blue, where it was totally red when I had a small barbecue outside of my balcony when I was cooking, or even there was a smell of durian coming outside of the hallway of my house whenever the main door was open and closed. And finally, since I do yoga and meditation in my living area, the noise coming out from the device was barely even heard, even with the fan speed adjusted to 2 as mentioned earlier. So yes, my experience on this purifier was very seamless, as it was something that I just had to turn it on for the first time and just let it do its thing. Now, if you guys have been watching this video up until this point and finding this video helpful, a nice big thumbs up would be very nice, and of course a subscription to the channel would be awesome too. Thank you very much in advance. So in conclusion, should you get the Blue Air Health Protect 770i? Well, that, my friends, is a resounding yes. Because even with a price of 5,999 ringgit, this video clearly shows and justifies why it's worth the investment. And if you're watching this video before the 31st of January 2023, there'll be a 10% off at 5,699 ringgit. However, you can opt for the other Health Protect series, which can be a bit more affordable based on the amount of space that you want to, which I'll leave a link down below of Blue Air's website for more info on those. So all in all, let me tell you this. If you don't have an air purifier, You are the air purifier. And instead of paying so much money buying an expensive smartphone, which I review here in the channel, invest in your health by getting the best purifier in the market today. And this, my friend, is it.